everyone, and welcome. This is Karen Ellis speaking. I am the owner of the Art House Studio, and I am also the author of A Scrapbooker's Gift, which is an article in the Canadian Scrapbooker Magazine. And this video is made exclusively for the magazine. It will show you how step by step I created the journals that were stepped out for you in the article, and I'm thrilled to be here. So I have put together a couple little things. I have a journal cover that I thought was really cute. A little girl in kindergarten here in the plaza where my store is, she created some things. I thought I'd do a little journal for her. So I'm going to show you how to create the signatures, how to bind the book, and in a future video, if you'd like to see how I created the actual covers with the stamping and the paints and inks and everything, come on back and we'll show you how to do that as well. So anyway, let's get started. I have this is some wax thread, but any heavy thread will work for binding your journal. But I have that here. I have some needles. I have a pencil and a scrap piece of paper. And I have some signatures started. Signatures, all they are pieces of paper that are folded together and inserted and bound into to make a book. So I have already pre-scored, like you see in the magazine. I've already pre-scored 4 signatures because in this particular book I am creating for this little girl so that she can do some doodling in. So here we are. So I have the 4 signatures, and I'll just show you, just so you have a better idea on creating the 3-hole binding so that everything is even. I have a piece of paper here, a scrap piece of cardstock that is the same length as my signature, as you see here. And I'm going to fold that in half and score it just with my fingers, and then fold it in half again and score it with my fingers so that when I open it up, I have 3 score lines. You see that there? So 1 in the center and 2 on the sides. So I'm going to literally open up each signature that I have folded. Now this is made with just some leftover printer paper, you know, from a photocopier at work that you don't want to throw out, even if it has a couple little lines on it. 5-year-olds don't care. Put it together. If you're doing it for an art journal, then the pages will be a little thicker, so you won't have as many. This one has about 6 or 7 pieces of paper together folded. If I was doing this with watercolor paper, I'd probably stick to about 4 or 5, just so it wouldn't get too bulky. You could go as high as about 8 pages of this particular weight if you wanted to. But watercolor paper works, cardstock works, whatever you have laying around. It's a great recycling project. So I'm going to put my guide here inside the signature, and with a pencil I'm just going to mark where those score lines are. So I'm going to have 3 equal markings. Can you see that there? Fabulous. I'm going to do that really quickly with all 4. And then I'm going to bind the book with some gaffer tape. I have some of that here too. You can't hardly get these anymore. This was, I kept the tag on it to show you. It's 7 Gypsies, and it's G-A-F-F-E-R, gaffer. And I think they actually call it gaff, G-A-F-F-E. Tape, it's very difficult to find. I understand that, but any book binding, or cotton adhesive. I used in the magazine article this gaff tape, but I also used some adhesive fabric that I found at a store, just a fabric store. I think there's some, Prima makes a cotton twill that is adhesive back, that would work. And those are a little easier to find as well. But anything that is adhesive, if you can go into a bookbinding place too, if you have one in your town, and get some fabric tape, it's great. Anything like that will work, and I will show you how to do it. So I have my back cover adhered. Because this is her artwork, I'm just adhering it to a piece of board. This is just some cardboard, like really sturdy cardboard that I had left over. Again, I'm using this as a recycling project. And I've just run a little picture that she's done through my Xyron machine. And the reason why I've done that is because the paper is thinner. It's just regular printer paper. and I want to have a great adhesion, and Xyron products are fantastic for that. So I'm just going to line this up. My journal is the same size as my cover paper, and I am going to adhere that down, and you can see that's a nice adhesion. It's not going to come up. That's perfect. So now I have my front and my back, and I am going to open them up. Sorry, I'm going to lay them out across like so, face up, and get the gaff tape. And I'm going to just pull out some here. I should have enough for an 8. Oh, please say I have enough. Oh, I have just enough. Yay! I am going to just place some tape along the edge, because this is a book. This is the left side of the front cover. You see that there? So I've adhered that onto that. And I'm going to flip it over just so I can have an easier view of it. Again, this is the back, so now I'm working the back sides up. I'm just going to place that down and just kind of burnish it onto the tape just so that there's a good adhesion. This gaff tape will stick. It's paper, it'll stick. And I'm just cutting it off there. So now that I have that, I am going to fold in my centers here so that it'll adhere. Now my only issue now is I don't have any more of that particular gaff tape for the center. So I am going to stop the video and go grab another type of fabric, a nice little fun fabric that I was talking about, so you can see me cover the inside. Okay, so I just went to my stash and I picked up this, I had in my craft bin. It's Fabric Craft. There we are. It's a Delta product. It's adhesive fabric. But I was also thinking as I was grabbing this, again, I use the Xyron to do the cover. This would go through an X, easy peasy. If you had a little piece of fabric or a piece of ribbon that you'd like to attach these journals with, that would be really cool. Throw it through your X and that will adhere it nicely as well. So just a little tip on that. You don't always have to have the specialty product, although sometimes it's nice to have just kicking around. All depends on how archival, I guess, you want to be, how long. Here we go. All right. I'm going to just put that right down the edge. I measured it first, as you can see, and I'm just kind of sticking it right to that so I have no more sticky spots along the spine. That's kind of a fun color. I like that. So the journal book is all set to go. Okay. I am going to pull out that piece of cardstock again that I used to score the lines so I can measure this out, and I am going to make a marking across the front and the back of the spine. So here it is. I'm just going to make a little mark with a pencil. Right here is where I want it, right here is where I want it, and right here is where I want it. And I'll flip it over and go do this side. Now this again is in pencil. You can erase it once you're done if you like. There we are, 1, 2, 3. And the reason we're doing it that way is just so that when we start stitching, we'll have a guideline on where to start. So I have the signatures here. They have, I have put all the holes again through there. I used one of my needles and I pre-poked the holes in each signature. So where my dots were, I just poked the hole with the needle so that it was pre-done and I wouldn't have to fight with it while I was trying to bind the book. So now it's time to take the thread, and in order to get enough thread for you, this is how I do it. I'll kind of put it up. I have 4 signatures, so I'm going to take 4 lengths of the book. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll kind of do some for extra good measure and just cut it off. And one of the things I do like about this wax thread, and I think you can get that at a fabric store, is that it's really easy to thread through your needle, and it's easy to use in general for binding. Okay, so I'm going to start by taking my very first signature, and I'm going to put my needle right through the bottom hole. Come on through, all the way through. There we go, the bottom hole that I pre-scored. I'm going to leave a tail at the end. And then I'm going to go to where my lines were. And I'm going to see if I can show you. See how I marked my lines? There's the first one there. And I'm going to poke my needle through that and pull it through. Now I am fighting with this a little itty bitty bit because I just realized my needle is not a pointy needle. It is a blunt end, and I probably should have grabbed a pointy needle. So there's a tip for you. Grab a pointy one. There we go. So I have that pulled through, and I'm going to, remember I have my tail, I'm going to there we are. Zoom in a little bit so you can see. Here it is. Here's my tail from the bottom hole. I am just going to bring this up and just give it a little tie here. Now, not too tight, because I don't want to pierce or buckle this edge here. So I'm literally just wrapping it around and going to tie it in a little knot. Now this is wax, so it's not going to go anywhere, so I am just going to tie like so. All right, so now that I have that there, I'm going to now go through my center hole, and then I'm going to punch it right through the spine where that line is in the middle, and then thread it through. And then I'm going to go in through the top line, and if you can see, here we are, if you can see, I'm kind of going in a row here. And along that same line, I'm going to poke it through the spine on the top and then feed it through my signature. And there it is there. And pull through. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my thread to the top of the book and then close the first signature. Okay, so that it's there, and I'm going to get the next signature. And the next signature, I am going to, here we go. Sorry guys, I just zoomed out for a second there. All right, so we have it threaded up to the top of the book. I've closed the signature. I'm going to then turn it around, and I am going to thread right through the center here of the top line of the spine. And I'll just pull it through and I'll show you. So here we are. I'm pulling it through, and it's come out through the middle. Okay, so I'm going to get my next signature, and through the top hole I am going to place the needle through the scored part and then pull that through. And then I'm going to repeat the process. I'm now going to go in through the center and poke it through the spine and pull through. Then you want to make sure it's tight, but again, you don't want to make it so tight that the spine will bend. So just kind of pull it securely. That's the word. A good word is securely. And then once it's through the middle, you're going to put it through your next line right through here. Sorry. Now I have a good hold of the book. I'm trying to hold it in the camera, and sometimes this doesn't do me any good justice here. Here we are. So I'm pulling it through the back of the spine, and I'm going to feed it through my pre-made hole in the signature and up through, and then pull so that it's snug. And I do that after every stitch just to make sure I have a snug signature. Pull it through. I'm going to close it so it's easier for me to handle while I'm in camera. And I'm going to go back up and go into the next line on the other side and pull through. There we go. So I'm all set to go with my third signature. And I'm going to thread it through there. And then feed it through the center. And then run that through the center line on the spine. And then pull through. So once you've got the first signature in, it's pretty repetitive. And I'm going to poke it through the top line on the back of the spine. Oh, this one's being temperamental. There it goes. Pulling it up, and I'll feed it through my pierced hole there as well. Pull it snug, and then close the signature. Going back around on my very last one, and I'm going very snugly close to the cover now, poking it through. See, I get every once in a while, I don't know if you've noticed, I'll make sure that the thread is going in the right direction, so because I want to have it like nice and pretty. Okay, so it's up through the center there of the spine. I'm getting my last signature, and I'm going to poke it through the hole. And then I'm going through the center. Sorry, I keep turning it around. Hope you guys aren't getting dizzy. It's just sometimes easier for doing this. It's always not necessarily what's easiest is best for the camera. All right. And then the last one, I'm taking it right close to that cover, poking it through the spine, and going to thread it through the last one there as well. And pulling it tight. Well, I don't know if you can see, I have a little bit of a gap there in that last signature, so I'm going to very carefully thread that through this way. Again, I don't necessarily want to pull it hard because I don't want to damage the rest of the book. There we are. So the next step is to tie it off, and to tie it off, I'll just kind of pull it around and loop it through the signature. You can just tie it even on the inside if you want. All depends on whether or not you want to hide it. I'm just getting my scissors here because I have it pretty tight, and there we go. And I will pull that so it's snug, and I will remove my needle there, and then I'm just tying a knot in the spine so that my stitching will stay in place. Again, I really love this wax thread because the wax will adhere nicely. Keep it sticky. So there we be. This particular one has 4 signatures. Here is her book. And remember I said it opens up flat, so the book will remain flat, so when the little girl goes to doodle and to color, all the pages lie perfectly flat, and that's one of the things I love about this particular binding stitch. And I know I said that in the magazine, so, but there it is. So you could put all kinds of stuff in here. You could put little inclusions in here, like little tags. You can stitch them in. You could do all kinds of stuff, different papers. You know, there is lots that you can do to create your own little journals, your own little mini books, your own little notepads. Again, have fun with it. This is a little recycling project. Come back again and join me on the website, and I'll show you how to do another cover, and I will definitely link that to this post later. So have fun. Thank you again for supporting the Canadian Scrapbooker. We really love all of our readers and our submitters. So all of you out there who create things, please submit it to Jackie. She loves to see and meet new artists here in Canada. So have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day, and happy journal making, everyone.